Hi guys, I'm coming on to do a kind of video to a question that was asked of me earlier today, and it is on the subject of protection. And the person that asked the question didn't know really how about going. She didn't know about how she was going to go about trying to protect herself. We're not talking about um, protecting from a specific person or a specific situation, but a generalized protection because in magic, all we know that the principle starts with just a thought. So the person doesn't have to be magical to throw you a negative intention. A lot of times they're not even trying to throw you a negative intention, but they still can get you. You can still backlash with it. So it is always, it's sort of like good hygiene. You do these things so that you don't pick up or collect negative energies from people and places and stuff like that that you don't want to keep attached to yourself. Because no matter what you're doing in life and no matter who you're coming in contact with, eventually you're going to pick up on somebody else's negativity or somebody else's um, lesser vibrations that could intend not the best for you. And so there are a few things that I wanted to discuss today. Um, First is your personal protection. This is things that you can do um, on a daily basis, or you can do it, um, you can set an intention, and it can be as simple as um, witches have certain pieces of jewelry that they use as talismans or amulets and stuff like that. Two common stones are black jet and amber, and they are considered um, witching protection type jewelry. Now, if you have a piece of jewelry and you consecrate that piece of jewelry as a protection piece, when you wear it, you have that power of protection on you and around you. So that is one simple thing that you can do to start off your personal protection. Is, in my opinion, you can take any piece of jewelry that you have, some special piece, and this can become your protection piece. Um, the other thing that you can do is that you can set an intention to um, cleanse yourself on a fairly regular basis to ward off things that might have become stuck to you or you might have collected when you're dealing with the public or you're dealing with a lot of negative people or there's not a lot of negative situations around you. Um, these things can be kind of insidious and they can grow and stick to you very slowly, and sometimes they are so they kind of sneak up on you. You don't necessarily know it's happening until you're feeling bad and you don't know why you're feeling bad. So you can do a cleansing bath. You can create stuff for your bath to create a specific cleansing ritual of that bath. You can also smudge yourself. Um, You can get someone to do an egg cleansing on you. There's many different ways to smudge negative energy off of you. Almost anything that you can do to consecrate your tools of your altars or your space or your house can be used on yourself as well. You can make a protection oil blend that you use personally. There's many different ways to do protection. You can also carry a mojo bag that you put together for protection. You can carry that mojo bag. You can try to keep it in your car so that it protects you while you're on the highway or on the road driving. You can keep one in your purse that kind of keeps you safe, or you have a pocket, you can keep it in a pocket. You can wear it as a necklace. You can do all different kinds of concept of the mojo bag can actually even go into open lockets that can hold things as well too. And you can get things like that all over the place. Michael's and Hobby Lobby and have those jewelry findings like that, but where you can actually open it up and put things in it and create a mini amulet or a mini medicine bag like that, or a mini mojo bag, however you want to look at it. The same things would go in that as it would in like a mojo bag. You can visualize a bubble around you. And you can put that bubble around you and let all negative bounce off that bubble. These are visualizing techniques. I work with archangels for my watchtowers, and if I need to throw up quick protection, I have my archangels that fly up around me immediately. Now, I've been doing that for over 30 years. So my visualization technique on that is pretty powerful and strong, and I can get that going extremely quick at a drop of a hat if I need to. So you can use your angels. You can use one specific angel. You can use one specific guide. You can use one specific deity. You can use, it doesn't have to be an archangel. It can be you can use it as a power animal. You can use it, you can use almost anything that feels protective to you. You can work with visualizing that and bring that in as your personal protection. In any given moment that you feel threatened or harmed, becoming harm in any way coming to you, or if you feel like you need that protection just in general because you don't know if you're going through some sticky situations, such as divorce, family problems, a feud with a neighbor. There's so many different times where it's not that someone is threatening you at the moment, but the potential is there, and you may be aware of it, and maybe you need to keep that protection handy. Other things that you can do for protection is the next thing would be the home itself. You can protect your bedroom area while you're sleeping. When you're most vulnerable is when you are asleep. You can put an open glass of water, and that can absorb negativity. You can put a dream catcher that can absorb negativity. That's one's protecting you from nightmares. The other one might be protecting you from any projected energy at you in the nighttime. You can put salt on your windowsills. You can have the brooms over your windows. You can do this for every room in your house. You can um, smudge your house regularly. If you can't use sage or sweetgrass or cedar, then you can also make a smudging spray. The spray would be distilled water, and you would add protection oils in that water, and it can be of any variety. Anything that can be used as protection can go in there. You can also empower that smudge spray that you're making with a protection stone as well, to add the power of the stone as well. And you can spray the rooms regularly with that, daily if needed or weekly if needed, however you feel that your rooms need to be protected. The more people that you have into your home, the more frequently you might want to smudge. If you live alone and don't have a whole lot of people interacting in your home, you may not need to smudge as much. So you start with the inner part of the house. You now can put a ring around the house itself of salt, sulfur, um, Epsom salt. There's lots of different things that you can use in laying down a ring of protection around the home itself. You can use protection oils, um, the different kinds of chili peppers and stuff like that going into the oils, with a lot of other different protective herbs like cinnamon and stuff like that. There's a lot of recipes out there for different protection oils for property as well. And you basically take it and you run it around the perimeter of your whole entire property. I do like to have it around the perimeter of my property, but I also like to have it around the house itself. So it's kind of a double protection. If something gets through the first one, there's still another one. And then they still have to get through the rings of stuff that I have inside the house as well. This is certain property protection that protects you in a different way from unknown harm that might be around, such as someone trying to break into your home or bringing negativity to your house. You can put things at the door threshold, the front door threshold, or any door threshold to stop negative people from entering your home. You can place things around the doors to ensure that there will be peace and harmony that stays in the home. Lots of different things that you can do for protection that way. Your car is another place that is mobile and might need to be protected. While it sits on the property, it has one form of protection, but when it goes out onto the road, there's another form of protection that you might want. Again, I've already alluded to the mojo bags that you can put in there. You can also put different stones. I've used stones around my actual rear view mirror hanging down. I have enchanted around the car so that I feel safe and protected. If you think that that is starting to weaken in any way, you just reinforce it with putting another intention around the car. It's kind of like when you are producing a magic circle, when you're doing it more with your thought than in actual action. And you can put that ring of protection around you, the car, property, other people, anything that needs to be put and placed inside a protective area. If you are out and about, there are different ways that you can feel and read energy. start to pay attention to what is actually around you and make note of that and throw up protection where needed so that you're not haphazardly bringing stuff home with you to come back into your home. If you've been in large crowds and you've been, let's say, shopping in where there's a lot of crowded people, where the energy felt kind of negative, or you didn't feel good while you were doing that shopping, like say Walmart on a Saturday when it's very, very busy and crowded. It's not that there's anything negative about Walmart per se, but the fact that there are hundreds and hundreds of people in a large store like that versus smaller stores which may have less traffic in a given day to where the energy doesn't feel quite so stifling, and that may be when if you come home, you might need to kind of give yourself a smudge. There are little sprays and little spray bottles that you can keep and carry with you, that you can do things to fluff up your aura with those sprays, or you can actually have a protection spray with you that you can just go to a restroom area or pull out at any time, because it's going to be almost like you're just spraying yourself with some perfume. And you basically spray your area with it, and it becomes an area and an ability to be a protection. Now, if you actually have an enemy, if you have someone who you believe is throwing you negative or dangerous things, that becomes into a deeper level of protection. When somebody has basically let you know that they have become an enemy or someone who is trying to do you deliberate harm, these attacks are a lot stronger and require more intense protection on the part of the user. I still use my archangels because I do use them as guardians and shields. They are partly how I throw up a magic circle around myself anyway if I'm doing magic workings, and I have built a relationship with them over the years. But the first thing I do when I feel like I'm getting it from all sides, I very seldom have actually felt like I was under a personal attack by somebody, but there are times where you kind of feel like you're getting hit from everything all over the place. Sometimes it's even just astrological energy or whatever, but it doesn't matter, because the actual mindset that it puts you in actually attracts more things dinging you all the time. So when I get myself into that kind of a situation, whether it be because somebody is actually actively attacking me, or I have put myself in a negative state to where I'm getting bombarded with all of this kind of stuff, doesn't matter what the source is, I throw up basically a circle around myself. I visualize myself being blasted with a bright white light that goes through me and out all around me. The bigger that you can visualize that light, the wider an area it basically annihilates and burns away the negative. And that's my intention with that. So I am blasting myself with that intention. And it is like a supersonic cleanse. And from there, I throw up mirrors all around me. And I write myself a protection chant that basically I'm not gonna do and say mine out in public, but basically you form an intention with those mirrors that anything that someone is throwing at you negatively, it hits the mirrors and it bounces back straight to the person. Whatever they're sending, it doesn't matter whether they're sending a lot of friendly vibes or if they're sending the camera's messing up, sorry people. It doesn't matter whether they're sending a specific person sending it or you don't know the actual source of it. You don't have to actually know the actual source of it, because sometimes you think it's one person, but it's someone totally different. When you use that technique, it bounces back off of those mirrors, whatever it is, and it bounces back and hits the person who sent it. It's like a return to sender spell, but it is a protection. If nobody is sending you negative, they're not going to receive negative. So you're not deliberately harming anybody. You are basically dealing someone's karma right back at them. You can walk with these mirrors all the time, but remember to set the intention in your spell work that you do as you place these mirrors around you that you're letting the good in. That people's good intention and good love and good vibration and positive is coming through. And the negative is bouncing back to whoever's sending it. It's a form of shielding, and you can do shielding in many, many different ways. I can do that anywhere and any time, but the strongest place to do that, especially when you're new at it, is sitting at your altar, creating the spell work in your circle, and literally cutting yourself out of place and time when you're doing that, because you've got somebody that is negatively attacking you. So you need to be working inside your magic circle, because that cuts you out of time and space to do the working and to make that working and intention stronger, especially when you're new at it and you haven't got all of your visualization skills so intact that they are as strong as someone who's been working at it for many, many years. Anything that you can do to increase the power of it increases the power of protection with it as well. But when you cut yourself out of time and space there, you're also not allowing them, you're protected in that circle because their stuff isn't getting through to you while you're doing it. So they can't influence what you're doing when you're trying to throw even protection. Skilled people out there can do a lot of negative and energy work at you, and there are some really, really powerful things that they can do if they choose to. Most people are not going to go through that trouble unless you have really pissed them off to some degree. But you can pick up a nasty individual at any time. Whether they be magical or not magical, sometimes even when they're not magical, they're even more dangerous because sometimes they don't understand their own power, and everyone has power, everyone's thought and intention is a magical power. It's about the witches just learn to control it. And so these live wires out there are sometimes more dangerous than even an advanced witch that has decided you're her enemy or his enemy and he is throwing bad crap at you. In that case, if you do have that kind of situation going on, I would do the strong intention and reversal, the return to sender, I should say, not reversal, but the return to sender. But I would make sure that I had all of my protections up around everything, around my property, around my vehicle. I would make sure that I had a witch's bottle, but make sure you know what you're doing when you make the witch's bottle. There's a lot of good videos out there. Eva Maria on Eva's House of Saints did one, and she did one where she talked about her backfire that she did that actually protected the person that she was trying. When she was very young, she did it the opposite way it should have been done, and it actually protected the person who was her nemesis instead of helping her. So you've got to make sure you're doing it all correctly, but I would do everything. I would do things for the threshold of my door. I would do things, I would do it all. There are also cloaking spells that you can do as well to kind of make you leave the mind of the person who is after you as well. Those are also some defense mechanisms that you can use to keep yourself out of the line of fire. So just a few little things that might be able to kind of begin to protect you. Some places that you can go to try to figure it out. There's also a book out there called Psychic Self-Defense by Deanne Fortune, where she specifically talks about being under attack by a person and sometimes also by spirits, and the things that she had to learn to do for protection, that there are definitely always times when you have to be aware. Sometimes this stuff can come on the spiritual plane as well, and it comes with the opening up of your psychic abilities. And sometimes when you are a natural open channel, you haven't learned to do the closing down of that channel when you want to get rest, or when it is not an appropriate time for spirit contact to be coming through to you. These things also can be just unwanted, and you do have the right to simply tell them if it is in a situation where you can. Sometimes I know one of the questions came from someone who was having vivid dreams, and this is when the spirits would try to contact her, so she wasn't getting any rest. In this kind of case, if in the vivid dream you are having a lucid dream where you can take control, you can simply tell them to go away, that you want rest now, that you'll be more than willing to talk to them another day, but today you want rest, and go away. Most of the time they will honor that, and you can simply just tell them to go away. They're coming to any open channel because they realize you can hear them, you can see them, or they're able to communicate with you in some way, shape, or form, and they've figured it out, and they're going to be drawn to you. They're going to be drawn to any open channel. So you have to learn to cloak the channel when you're not ready for the contact. You need to understand that if you are learning energy work, that you don't just get into anybody's auric field and not have it to where you only go so far into your field. People can get in, attach in a lot of different ways, and these are different kinds of attachments that aren't even attacks. They're literally how someone actually they're called energy cords. And they can literally, an energy cord can attack at any kind of chakra area in your body to somebody else. Energy workers who do not know proper shielding and grounding and their ability in Reiki, we are taught never to let it go above the elbow, because you're in someone's field and you're playing in that, and that means that whatever they felt they needed to be healed from, you're dabbling in that, and you can pick it up. And empaths also really need to learn this, because these shielding devices are one of the problems with an empath, is that they are born this way, and there is not a guidebook that comes with the skill, and because they are natural at it, there's no owner's manual, so they don't realize, and so they go through a lot of years, generally, not understanding why they're so affected by everybody else. There's ways to properly deal with that, but it takes your training on your part. You have to do the work. You have to research and start learning these techniques for your peace of mind and your well-being. Just because you are an empath does not mean that your life gets to go to crap just because you feel every emotion and feeling that everybody in a room is feeling, or that's not your responsibility as an empath. You don't have to take on everybody's crap. There are ways for you to, and you need to learn these. This is just good hygiene. It's the sloppy witch doesn't learn these things. The one who is skilled and wants to be a master of the craft, that's what you have to work on. These are not the dark magic or anything like that. This is, everybody has a right to protect themselves. And even if that means that you throw something back at somebody, well, I can understand if you don't want to start anything with anybody, but you do have the right and the responsibility to protect yourself, your family, and your loved ones, and your pets, everything that is in your realm. And that's not evil, and that's not dark, and that's not, it's expected. And you can't be there for your loved one if you think that you can't do any of this stuff and you just get whatever somebody gives you. No, you have the right to self-defense. You have the right to protect yourself, and you have the right to end whatever is coming at you if you need to. It's not evil. If you're not starting it, I don't even know how you would consider that it was evil. So, I hope this helps a little bit. There's a lot of different ways that you can protect, from very minor things all the way up to very heavy duty things. But I think these techniques here will help the majority of people on a day-to-day basis anyway, to get you started. But someone can talk to you all day long about protection, but you really need to start doing your work and doing your study, because your responsibility to learn these things for yourself. This is part of learning your craft and becoming a very um, conscientious witch. Basically, these are all things that you need to build your skill sets. These are the same thing as running out and wanting to, to buy a magic wand or to buy, all this different stuff. Go out and buy you a good crystal and put it around your bed. Go around and go find some obsidian. It's not real expensive. Put it around your bed. It absorbs the negativity. Um, there's lots of different things that you can go out and you're going to spend some money on. Spend some money on some protection stuff. Stones don't have to be all that expensive. They can be any size. Put them around your bed. Dream catchers. Go get your dream catcher. Go get your. There's so many different things. So they don't always have to cost a lot of money. A lot of them that you can make yourself. Simple glass of water can do it as well. So just make sure you don't drink that water. But anyway, hope this helps and y'all have a wonderful weekend. I am off to do some gardening. So thank you and have a blessed day.